Coming up, your questions continue to come in about the virus.
If I got the coronavirus and I have a special stuffed animal that I snuggle with, would I have to wash it, and how?
So, should you wash your favorite stuffed animal? The answer to this and more coming up. Then we'll switch gears and head into space. The astronauts and their mascot will join us and tell us what life is like aboard the International Space Station. Plus, we'll have our 7-year-old space expert weigh in.
This is the first time in 9 years that they launched an actual human, some humans into space.
And
I'm going to show you how to make funnel cake.
grab some funnel cake. We're going to the fair. We'll meet some kids who are showcasing their favorite farm animal virtually.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome to another installment of Nightly News Kids Edition. We hope you're all doing well. I'm still playing it safe and working from home for the time being. Though here in New York, we've really managed to reduce the number of people being hospitalized with COVID cases. We're seeing more in several other states. We understand you'll have lots of questions. The more you know, the less scary it is, so don't ever be afraid to ask or do some research on your own. First up today, let's get to our fact of the day. Did you know the CDC recommends using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol and approved by the FDA if soap and water aren't handy? You can tell if a sanitizer contains at least 60% alcohol by looking closely at the product label, and let your parents know as well. Now let's get to your questions. Joining us now, a familiar face, Dr. John Torres. Dr. John, our first question comes from California.
Hi, I'm Ella Sarami and I'm 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Ava Sarami and I'm 13 years old. And we live in Huntington Beach, California.
My question is it safe to share a mask with other family members? And how many times can you wear the same mask before washing it?
Ooh, I have the same question, Dr. John. I think I've worn mine a few days too long. What's the answer?
Well, the answer to the first part of the question is you don't want to share masks with other people, because if you're sick and don't even know it, they could get sick. And if they're sick and they might not know it, you could get sick. So the mask is your own. You want to wash them every day, especially if you've been out and about. But if you've been around a lot of people, especially people who you think are sick, you want to just wear it once, and when you get back, switch to something else and wash it. If it looks dirty too, treat it like your clothes. Come back home, take it off, wash it, and put another mask on.
All right, our next one comes from Tokyo.
Hi, my name is Mamika and I live in Tokyo because I like sushi. Do you like sushi? If I wash this fish with water, is it safe from the coronavirus like my hands, or do I need to cook it? Thank you.
That's a great question. And for the record, I love sushi. How about you, Dr. John? And should you wash it?
And same thing here. I love sushi as well. And if you cook sushi, it's not really sushi. But the good news is you don't need to cook it, because coronavirus doesn't really live very well on food. And that's not the way we get it. It's respiratory, so we get it from people coughing and sneezing. So if you wash it, you can just rinse it off and eat it like you normally do. But you definitely want to make sure you wash your hands as well to protect you, not just from coronavirus, but from anything else it might have. But go ahead, eat the sushi. It's tasteful.
Yeah. Our last question comes from Ohio.
Hi, my name's Maria and I'm 7.5 years old. And my question is, if I got the coronavirus and I have a special stuffed animal that I snuggle with, would I have to wash it, and how? Thank you. And Mr. Holt, I really love your Nightly News Kids Edition.
Maria, I love that you're watching Kids Edition. That's great. Thanks for a great question. Dr. John, what about it? Kids love their stuffies. What's the answer?
Well, they do love their stuffed toys, and as you can see here, these stuffed toys are being very, very safe by wearing all their masks. But if you've been sick, you definitely want to wash it. And if it's a regular stuffed toy like East or Gloria, you can put it in the washing machine and then dry it in a dryer, or you can wash it in a sink. Just make sure you do it for at least 20 seconds, and you really soak it and then dry it out really well. If you're doing something like Captain Teddy here, you want to make sure you not just wash it, but you also wash the hard plastic surfaces, and you can clean those with a regular house cleaner. But the main thing is, if you were sick, you want to wash them before you start using them again or before anybody else touches them.
Okay, before anybody else asks, is that your captain?
This is not mine, but it's one that we're giving to somebody as a gift.
All right, Dr. John, thanks very much. Well, kids, not sure if you saw it, but history was made recently when that spectacular launch sent 2 American astronauts into space from U.S. soil for the first time in 9 years. Our own Tom Costello had a chance to check in with the astronauts aboard the International Space Station.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
It was a thunderous roar from the Kennedy Space Center, marking America's triumphant return to space.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Dragon nominal trajectory.
The first private company ever to carry NASA astronauts. 19 hours later, docking with the orbiting space station.
Soft capture complete.
Now on board the station, Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken still don't know how long they're staying.
We're going to be up here for potentially a few months, and so we're just trying to settle in. It's more of a marathon.
Now, a lot's been made of the fact that you were on the first rocket to lift off from American soil in an American rocket in 9 years. Does it feel like America is back in the space game?
It really does feel like we're back. It was very much like the rich history that we were a part of with the shuttle program, and we were excited to bring it back home again.
Floating by during our interview, a mascot dinosaur chosen by their young boys.
This was our 0G indicator that we brought up on Crew Dragon. His name is Tremor, and he was picked by both of our sons to be the finalists to get to go fly with their daddies. So Tremor's going to hang out with us up here for the duration of the mission, and then we'll take him back home, hopefully in a few months.
The 2 astronauts had to self-isolate since March to protect themselves from getting COVID-19. So on launch day, they had to wave goodbye to their families before liftoff. No hugs. Though they can do video chats from space, watch the news, and still surf the internet. What is your message to young people today who dream of being astronauts?
For all the students who are out there with dreams to become astronauts or other dreams that are still in front of them, who have been affected by the pandemic, that does not mean that your dream ends. That means it's an opportunity to persevere. It's an opportunity to continue that dream and find another way or an alternate way. So kids, dream big. The sky truly is the limit. So astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley still don't know how long they're going to be up there on the space station. It could be 1 to 4 months. Imagine if you didn't know how long you're going to see Grandma, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. How many socks, how many pair of pants do you bring? Lester, back to you.
All right, Tom, thanks. What a great opportunity to get to talk to the astronauts in space. Joining us now is our friend, 7-year-old Jerry Morrison, who's been following the mission. Jerry, thanks so much for being with us. I saw your Instagram post. You obviously watched the launch. What did you think about it?
Well, I thought of it as exciting, and it also was very cool because I got to see like the fire coming out of it, and that was my first launch I ever watched.
What's so important about this mission?
Well, the first thing that's important is that NASA and SpaceX are teaming up together. The second thing that's so important is that this is the first time in 9 years that they launched an actual some humans into space.
If you could ask the 2 astronauts one question, what would it be, Jerry?
Well, I'd say, How do you go to the bathroom when you're out in the black with the starred space, not in a spaceship?
That's a really good question. It's a very personal question, but that's a good one. Jerry, you're dressed to go to space right now. When do you think you're going to get to go to the International Space Station?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I'd say when I'm about 21.
All right, you promised me the first interview with you, right? When you do it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Jerry Morrison, always fun to check in with you, my friend. Thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome. And thank you for your time, too.
All right, Jerry, great talking to you. Thanks for being on. Finally, when you think of summer, what may come to mind is a fair. Who doesn't love cotton candy and having some fun? But with a virus outbreak, some fairs have been canceled this summer. However, that's not stopping some kids. Here's Kevin Tibbles.
There's no better place to go in the summer as a kid than the county fair. I mean, it's got everything. All the farm animals, the rides, the screens, the food on a stick, and of course, lots of cotton candy. But this year, thanks to that darned coronavirus, many fairs have been canceled. But you want to know what hasn't been canceled? The spirit of all the young people who participate. Check out 10-year-old Kennedy Lee from North Carolina and her grand champion goat named Triton, winners of a virtual livestock show. Ty Hornsby of Florida entered his pal, the pig, named Chaos, in a virtual show in his county. Look how well he's trained. And then there's Jalea Knight, also of North Carolina, and her furry little balls of fun. She's raising a brood of baby chicks. Chicklets, they're called. Now that's a handful.
I learned that you have to always be focused. Some days I wouldn't feel like getting up and doing some of the stuff that I needed to do, but at the end of the day, it was worth it.
Across the country, some states have canceled their fairs. Others will still host local fairs, but without the games and rides. If you do go to the fair, remember to keep 6 feet between your family and others, no high-fiving, and wash your hands a lot. Okay, but let's not forget about the food, right? Did I mention I love hot dogs and cotton candy?
Getting everything ready?
With the fair on hold, Jasmine Autobacker and her family are working at their food truck, serving up the snacks while people stay in their cars. And then there's this little dynamo.
The ingredients that you'll need is 1 cup of pancake mix, a half cup of water, an egg, a 4th teaspoon of ground cinnamon.
9-year-old Jaylee Eastlick of Tennessee, with the help of her stepmom Brittany, has brought the fair right into her own kitchen.
And if you like powdered sugar, you can put as much powdered sugar as you want on it.
Today they're making their own funnel cake.
It tastes sweet and only sweet and yummy.
With all these pictures of delicious food, I'm going to get into the act myself. Problem is, I'm not a good cook. So if there's no fall fair, don't despair. Gather your family round and have a fair of your own. That way, everyone wins the blue ribbon. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Chicago.
Well, that was terrific, Kevin. I hope you don't think I was going to watch that story and all that food being consumed and not join in the fair fun myself. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. We hope you learned something and also had some fun. Parents, just a reminder, if your child has a question, send us a video at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com or send us a picture of your child doing something fun or meaningful at home, and we'll try to showcase them in a future episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourself and each other.